Orchie's with us, all the way from Istanbul, and you obviously watched Birds of a Feather back in the day.
Yeah, of course.
Look, you guys were great today. I wanted to ask you specifically, though, about a couple of players.
Yeah.
Romero and Mickey van der Ven at the back, as a partnership individually, they just look supreme right now.
They do. Mate, they do. And I think Vicario as well at the back in goal. And Pedro Porro. I mean, how poor or how inconsistent was Porro last season? But yeah, I mean, I think Vicky van der Ven coming in has definitely improved Romero. I mean, they're both at the moment, they are both, they're fighting for each other. Their understanding is perfect. When one of them is, there are times when, Romero even joins attacks and puts in balls where, Van der Ven covers for him. And then when Van der Ven sometimes, goes a little bit more forward, Romero's there. Like today, they were both phenomenal. They stopped some fantastic counterattacks by Fulham and Porro. I mean, every game, I think, he's been immense, both defending and attacking. He's literally up and down that pitch on the right-hand side. And I think he's even shored up Romero's game as well. Yeah, amazing. And again, I mean, you were saying, like, what's the difference between Tottenham this season and last couple of seasons? And it's definitely, we now have a manager who is genuinely happy to be there. He's happy to be there. He's happy to bring on all of these players. And I think, like you said in your intro, it's like both Mourinho, Conte, I think they were arrogant. They're like, hey, we're winners. We know how to win. We know how to do this. So you either do it our way or we're not interested. Whereas this guy's come in and he said, right, I'm going to take all of these players, get the best out of them. They're good players, get the best out of them. And that's exactly what he's doing. And that's what I would say, this whole argument about our Tottenham title contenders or not, I think Ellie said it best. I'm proud of what the team's achieving so far this season. Nobody expected us to, start the season like this. Nobody, even pretty much, I'm sure, majority of the Spurs fans. So that's why I understand the enthusiasm of the other guys getting excited because, let's be honest, we've suffered for since Pochettino left or he got the sack. Spurs fans have really suffered majority of the time. The football's been crap, negative football, terrible football. All right, we've won games. We qualified for Champions League under Conte's, first half season. But we've really suffered over these last 3 or 4 years. And that's after a team that almost won we made it to the final of the Champions League. We had a couple of seasons where we were genuine title contenders under Pochettino again. So, we kind of really, for the first time in our history or Premier League history, Tottenham were doing something, or it looked like we were building up to something special under Pochettino. And rightfully so, as Kate said, Levy did not. The reason why we didn't do it is I don't blame Pochettino for that. I blame Levy 100%. How can you go 500 and odd whatever days without backing your manager and expect him to win, when you're so close to breaking that top?
That's a question I'd like to throw to I don't want to say positive and negative because I don't think anybody's being negative on the show.
Realistic and optimistic. There you go.
Yeah, I think that's more it. What, like Daniel, young Daniel, what is it? Why do you think Daniel Levy, and Harry, I'm asking this question to you as well. Why do you think Daniel Levy is going to be different this January compared to multiple other, if there's 2 a year, compared to the other 46 transfer windows he's been in charge of? What do you think would be different this time around, in your opinion?
I don't think Levy will change. I think he definitely will bring up some of those players that we always like to sign under Daniel Levy, those young prospects, and we'll bring them up to Ange Postecoglou. But Ange Postecoglou said in the fan forum clearly, if he does not want a player, he is not going to get signed. Right in front of Daniel Levy's face. Daniel Levy's face did not flinch. Another thing, we have changed the way that we're scouting for players. A lot of rivals are not looking at this. Was reported in the summer before we signed Vicario, before we signed Mickey van der Ven, before we signed all these upcoming players that are looking amazing on the pitch right now. The way that we're scouting footballers right now is on a the way that Leicester was scouting players that year that they were in the title race when they won the Premier League is off of stats. They have a mechanism that they look at statistical information of a footballer's ability in order to sign them. So it's not Daniel Levy anymore. It's numbers. And I trust numbers way more than Daniel Levy. That's for sure.
So are you telling us live on the air now that you're a stat merchant and not an eye test merchant anymore?
I'm not a stat
I'm just winding you up.
No, a stat merchant or nothing. But
how about yourself? How about yourself, Harry? Like, what do you think is going to be different this time around? Do you echo what Dan's saying, or do you have a different theory?
Honestly, I just think it's like everyone wants to focus on the bench, for example. But what I want to focus on is what we've got right now. What we've got right now is a consistent team that keeps delivering, no matter how bad our apparent bench is, but we keep delivering, right? Yes, I may have not watched football for Tottenham for the last 23 years, but I'm 23 right now and I'm here, all right? We keep delivering. Once we win the league, everyone will laugh at me. Of course, they're going to laugh now. But when the league comes and we win it, and I watch it, and all my family watch it, and everyone around me watches it, all the tears leading up to it, that's just filling up another pint. Do you know what I mean? But when it happens, I promise you this. What's going to happen in the summer? Oh, my God, Champions League football. Oh, my God, I want to come to Tottenham. They're the best team in the country. I want to come to Tottenham. So you can say this and that about Levy. I get it. And I've got the same opinions, but I just want to focus on what we've got right now.
Are you the best team in England?
Honestly, City are the best team in England, and I genuinely think we're second. I will argue anyone against it. I will argue the whole chat.
I actually agree. I think
Me and Dan are similar. We've got
why are you laughing at that?
It's so funny. We haven't won a trophy in like 15, 16 years.
Are you a Tottenham fan? I want to ask if you're a Tottenham fan or not.
Can you mute this kid? Because he's shouting like a child. Can you just mute him? He's doing my brain. I'm trying to have a conversation.
I'm muting myself.
I've got a YouTube channel and I have sensible debates, right? And I'm trying to debate your point. You said you'll challenge anyone. I tell you why we're not the second best team in England. We haven't won a trophy for 15, 16 years, whatever it is. And the last one was the League Cup, right? First of all,
personally.
Wait, but you're not hearing. Wait,
Harry,
you're saying this
I don't think you're a Tottenham fan.
this season.
Yeah, that's not Teddy Sheringham. That's actually Thierry Henry. But then again, you're about 23. I don't know if you even remember the legend that is Teddy Sheringham.
You might have 10 scarves around the wall, darling. But let's just face right now.
You're a mug. That is the muggiest argument on the planet. Go and support that lot up the road. You're not a proper Tottenham fan. Just because I can see my team without mugging myself up by saying we're the best team in England or the second best team. Grow up. We're nowhere near the second best team in England. Nowhere near it. Oh my God. What do you get a trophy after 9 games?
1 second.
Go on your iPad and look at the top of the league. We're talking.
Yeah, because everyone wins the Premier League in October. Yeah, we might get a special mention. Honestly, the delusion is real. Fringe of the highest level.
What I will say is, Kate, I agree with you. With a lot of things that you're saying, because I'm 45 myself, by the way, and I've watched Tottenham for a very long time, a lot of painful years. But the positive things, and I understand where the guys are coming from. What they're saying, I think what they're actually trying to say is that this is one of the best starts that this is literally the best start that teams had for like in the history. Like I think we're going back to the 60s now, or even before then that Tottenham have had. What gives me encouragement, to be honest, is tonight, I'll be honest with you, until Son scored. There were a couple of chances where and afterwards, I even don't think that Son is playing his best game at the moment. I don't think Kulusevski's playing his best game at the moment. We've all forgotten, by the way, nobody's actually mentioned tonight. Basuma obviously he's not available, like he can't play. And I was really worried. I was worried about, because he's been so key to our team this season, obviously with his performances. I was really worried, but I was also kind of not happy, but I was looking forward to seeing how the team were going to perform without him in that team. And I've got to be honest with you, Højbjerg, all right, he's not my favorite player either. But I think he did a pretty good job covering him. All right, it was only Fulham and they weren't great tonight, but they can be. This is the kind of team where last season we wouldn't start playing until the second half with either a goal or 2 goals down. And they're
Højbjerg had 2 interceptions leading to 2 goals, by the way, for what it's worth.
And
I hear on that.
I think at Tottenham, even our first 11 have still got gears to go up and get even better.
I hear you on that. I want to go to some of these super chats. We've had quite a lot come in. I want to obviously respect the audience. Jerome here says we had the most tests from the start, and I guess guess what? We are still unbeaten, like the so-called second best team in the country. How many gets on TFT even after a Prem game is finished? Big up Terry, Arsenal for life. Come on, you Gooners. Thanks, Henry. I appreciate the super chat, brother. Everyone calm the F down. Spurs are a shit club and will forever be a shit football club. It's week 9. They will fall off soon. Have some sense, is what Kane Anthony says.
Cry more.
Spurs are not in the title challenge. It's not even injuries. Once teams start playing low block against you, it's over. Do you agree with that, Jacob? Once teams sit deep, because this gets labeled a lot of teams that start doing well, that no one's really respecting you yet. That's the way it will be phrased on socials. No one's respecting you. They're opening up against you. Do you believe there's any truth in that at all, mate?
I mean, there is a little bit of truth over the course of 90 minutes, but at the end of the day, what matters is the result to me. A low block team want to sit back and we still win the match. To me, it doesn't matter at the end of the day because we got the 3 points. So I think there is a little bit of an alarm for people when we go against these low block teams that they fear that we won't be able to break them down. But every single low block team we've come across thus far, transition team, counterattacking team, whatever you want to call them, we've broken them down and gotten the goal. And it looked like we should have been up 4-0 in the first half today. So I don't think that there's a problem breaking down low block. When you look at Luton, we should have been up 2-0 in the first 5 minutes. I don't think we have a problem breaking down the low block. I think that's just, look, when you're on top, people are going to find any reason to try and pull you back down. Spurs fans included. You've seen it here today. So I'm saying that, like, I understand why people say what they want to say, and like I get it, but at the end of the day, like I would never put words in somebody else's mouth. I would never say somebody said something that they didn't, and that's just me. That's just how I roll. Maybe it's a Southern American in me that's being, gentlemanly. I don't speak ill of others. I don't put words in other people's mouth. What I will say is this: you're allowed to feel however you want to feel. You're allowed to feel however you want to feel about what I say, but at the end of the day, when we're pulling 3 points versus these low block teams that we can't break down and we're playing the title contenders. I'm told these teams are title contenders and they can't even beat us in their own home. How are they title contenders? I'm told Liverpool are the dark horses for the league, but we beat them. Shout out Joel Matip. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are the questions that keep coming up and we keep answering them. And long may that continue.
You guys know I'm a United fan, but I'm not biased. And there's been times if people go back 4 or 5 years, even last season, I got a lot of stick from Spurs fans because I wasn't nice about you and I was praising Arsenal. But that was just because I told you I was right. You guys were awful last year and Arsenal were really good. A few years prior to that, I was praising you guys when you were great, especially under Poch. I think that the reason why it's hard to believe that Spurs are going to win the league is because even as great as this start has been, there is no precedent, there is no evidence that this group of players can win the Premier League, that this manager can win a league of this magnitude, because it's as a collective and individually, it's not been done before. So I think that there's a Liverpool being a slightly off the pace from you, but this group with their manager has been there, done it, worn the T-shirt. That know-how is so important. City, of course, everybody knows they're going to be in the title race because of their manager and how good they are. Arsenal, 18 months or so now, they've been pretty good. They've started okay. I still think they've got a gear to go, but there's still more of they've won some trophies in the last few years. So I do think it's hard for people to hear, yeah, we're definitely going to win the league from this point. When there's almost, I know Leicester did what Leicester did, but without taking anything away from Leicester, I actually think you're a bigger club than them, but a much bigger club than them. But that season, if you also go back to that season, all of the top 6 were off the pace that year. That was a bigger anomaly than them winning it. It was the fact that nobody was that good that season. And that's not taking anything away from Leicester. They'll still love it. And I just think for you guys, if you guys do maintain this and you win it, with how good City are, with how good Liverpool are, with how good Arsenal are, and the fact that you guys haven't done it for 62 years since you last won a league title, it would be unprecedented. I actually think it would be a bigger achievement than Leicester's when you look at who you're now facing and who you're up against and how good these teams currently are. coupled with your season last year. And I think that's why people find it hard to believe, because it would be such a shock to do it straight away. However, I do believe you're building a foundation to be in the title race, a foundation. Because that's what you do at this stage. And then I think January is going to be important, because if you add to it and you don't get injuries and you keep playing like this, great. I'm not someone that believes Spurs are going to collapse, fall away and come ninth. I think that's delusional. You're playing, the football's too good for that to happen. My personal opinion.
Well, Ange Postecoglou said the same thing. Sorry, go ahead.
Go on. No,
sorry, Jane. Can I say something about that Leicester comment, right? Because when Leicester won the league, we were far better than them. We should have won it. We should have bloody won it, but we just gave it away. We bottled it. And it wasn't Leicester winning, it's us giving it away, because we were so good that season. We scored so many goals, and defensively we were really, really good. It's just that we just fell off. Like you said, Terry, we didn't have experience of doing it. You know, when you've got that experience under the bag, it does count a lot.
And even you guys as fans, and I genuinely mean this as someone who's gone through title races.
Yeah.
Once you get into, if you're top of the league by say 4 points with 10 games to go, trust me when I tell you, you're going to experience emotions that you've never experienced before in your life. The match-going fans do. Every decision that doesn't go your way creates a reaction like I don't even mean this rudely. You'll have never experienced anything like. It's different from cup games in Champions League, which are one-off nights. It's a constant pressure all the time. And if the fan base has never experienced it, because without being rude, most people that remember winning the league the last time Spurs did it, those people are in their 70s and 80s now, or all dead. Like, so you don't have anyone in the fan base that has gone through it. And all of those things factor in being able to handle pressure. I speak about City's fans all the time. No matter what's going on, they're always relaxed because they know what their team can do. And their relaxed nature helps their team. And there's so many trials and tribulations to go through. I want to jump into some more.